I guess we're going to find out now how the WNBA does without Caitlin Clark, since she's out for 2 weeks
she's hurt. Yeah.
with a quad injury. So the WNBA is in a no-win situation here because without her, there's a huge fan base that's not going to watch. And look, maybe there's some that don't follow close enough who they won't watch because they will watch or tune in for maybe the first couple of games, but they'll simply not know that she's out with an injury. But as the ratings drop, they'll then have to identify the fact that she's polarizing. Like she's the type of player that people will tune in to watch. She's must-see television the way she plays the game. And it's a harsh reality that the rest of the WNBA is going to have to take in and realize that she brings the audience. She is what it's all about. She's why the Indiana Fever have so many primetime games, or games that are nationally televised. So it's kind of a no-win situation for the WNBA because either you have to admit that, and it's going to offend or hurt the feelings of all the other WNBA players, or you have to just try to hopefully hide what the ratings are going to look like when no one tunes in until she comes back.
LaVar said that he tunes in to watch Brittany Griner speak Russian on the bench. And I don't know what that meant or what he was trying to get out there, but he said that yesterday.
Just continuing on with it. I could care less about the WNBA. I mean, I look at it for show prep. I look at it for show prep. I did for Saturday's show. That's what I do it for that. But otherwise, you probably won't be able to say I watched an entire WNBA game one singular time, including if Caitlin Clark is in the game. It just does nothing for me. I'm sorry. People hype up the WNBA. I see Q trying to create some hype with it right now. What he's saying, like it does.
I'm not trying to create hype. I mean, here's the thing: is when you say
nothing
people
for me,
and that's fine. I don't really throw it on out of nowhere. If there's nothing else on, I'll watch. But I'm not like tuning in or being like, oh man, I gotta finish up the back nine quick so I can get back and watch the WNBA. And it's not a sexist remark, but there's nothing on TV right now that I am taking away from my family life or anything else going on in my life to go watch. I literally last night was sitting there with my son. We're like on the couch. I'm like, let's just watch Paw Patrol, because that's better than whatever else is on at this moment before he goes to bed.
You just answered the question for me. Like, my TV might be off. You know what I mean? Like, more often than not, my TV is off, by the way. I don't really watch a lot of TV. But the idea of it is when I do, I'm very intentional. And when I'm watching sports, I'm pretty intentional as well. And people have tried, like Whitlock is guilty of this. And Jason, if you hear this, somebody tells you I said it, you eat this one, you own it.
LaVar.
Stop telling people that the WNBA is going to overtake the NBA. It's not. It's not. It never will. And my dumb ass decided to watch some basketball, some WNBA basketball, because I wanted to understand why he was saying this. And I'm not exaggerating, within 1 minute of watching that game, I turned it off and shook my head in disgust at Jason Whitlock for ever making a statement such as that. Now, I may catch a lot of flack from WNBA enthusiasts, and probably would be rightfully so. I shouldn't be talking bad or saying anything disparaging about the WNBA. The W. I get it.
Are there WNBA enthusiasts?
Oh yeah, there are.
Really?
There are. Oh yeah, and you know what? And they're a part of a very, very influential community that can cancel you. Hint, hint. So at the end of the day, you got to be real careful. Like if you hadn't noticed,
Jonas,
people come for you. If you say anything
I'm asking
about
questions
certain,
here.
Like you can get away with talking about Caitlin Clark, but you can't get away with talking about anybody else.
Oh. Got it.
So all I'm going to say is I'm going to be careful because I don't want to get canceled. But with that being said, within 1 minute of watching a WNBA game, I changed the channel because it was just not my cup of tea. That's all. That's what I'll say. It just wasn't for me.
This is the part that I was going to bring up, that I don't know if you're somebody, because there is a portion of the population, whether it's players in the WNBA or it's people who cover the WNBA, who want to make there's more to the league than just Caitlin Clark. There's more to the league than just, and it's like, okay, true, but nobody's really interested in that other part of the league. Like, if we're being honest. And so with her going out with the injury and seeing what it's going to do to the numbers, I don't know why it would be so difficult for people within the league or people that cover the league to just acknowledge, hey, yeah, you're right. She's the selling point right now. Let's try and build around that and promote that and grow that, as opposed to divide everybody, because every storyline attached to her outside of just her on the court, like LaVar and I were making the point yesterday, like, do they have highlights from games? Because all I hear is the racial battle lines that have been drawn between, like, you don't. That's what's selling. They're doing such a terrible job promoting this sport as a sport, and all they're doing is promoting it as a dividing line between it's either black or it's white or it's this and it's that. No, it's only black and white. Grow this, because it's all going towards Caitlin Clark. I heard Charles Barkley said in an interview one time that when Magic Johnson got the 25-year, $25 million contract, whatever it was, like, players around the league, like in the Sixers locker room, weren't mad. They were celebrating because they realized, oh, that's good for all of us. I don't know why people wouldn't look at what she brings to the table and be like, hey, maybe we should try and develop this and push this forward and not try and start a fight with her every chance we get, or, a claim that she gets preferential. Who cares? Like, let it infuse some eyeballs and some revenue into the sport, and it is better for everybody involved. And instead, there's just it's racial, it's this, it's that. I don't understand. I don't know why you're biting the hand that feeds you. It's weird, honestly.
I feel like, though, there's a lot of leagues that do this. I mean, I don't know that the NBA props up their players the way they should. I mean, they seem to be more apt to, like, embrace everything outside of the game of basketball at times. So much is made about, like, the fashion of the players coming into it, or debates about, hey, how does he compare to MJ or LeBron? It's like the same old tiresome debates. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of leagues that fall victim to this, where you start or stop focusing on the main thing being the main thing. Like, if you want to say that today's NBA players are more talented than ever before, then show us. Like, you have all these advanced stats, analytics, different sports science behind it. You can show it and prove it by the all sorts of different success rates and shooting, etc. I mean, or even why look at the difference in a number 4, like a power forward or a stretch 4, and looking at their shooting ability from the outside as compared to what was in the past. And granted, different era, different time for that game, but still, you can demonstrate some of those things and talking about how the game's evolved and educating more people on that. And I don't know that the NBA does a good job of that. So why would you suspect that the WNBA would do any better of a job highlighting anything other than what gets clicks? And so to go back to the initial comment, LaVar, when you're like, whoa, you guys are the media. No, it's not. You can go on any website, go on ESPN, go on CBS Sports, go on whatever website you want to go on, and you will see an article about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. It's not me. It's not like other people out there. It is the companies behind it are continuing to perpetuate whatever storylines are around it. So, it's what's out there to talk about, because it's also what's on TV, and that's kind of part of it. But it's not like people are just conjuring up a lot of these things. This is being stuff that's being pushed and being written about and being covered extensively by a lot of the networks that are involved in it.
Sounds like conjuring to me. Even if it's the networks and the big companies out there, it's a miss it's a no for me, dog.
I get that.
No Hollywood trip for WNBA for me, dog. Like, it's a no for me. That's all. I'm happy to get it off my chest, because I've never really said it as definitively as I'm saying it right now. But I would feel horrible about this if one of my daughters played basketball. I really would, because in my mind, and I got to say, my wife played basketball. Like, she was a basketball player, D1 basketball player. Don't care.
D1?
I'm just not interested in women's basketball.
Yeah.
I'm just not. And you know, part of what you were talking about, I think if we were able to see the personalities of not only the people in the WNBA, but in the NBA. Again, we had this conversation, I'll say we had it yesterday as well, is the fact that the NBA can't stand up to a Peyton Manning list, a Tom Brady list, you know, keep the names going, Drew Brees list. It can't stand up to the brand of the National Football League, because the Shield has been able to build what the interest is connected to. The storylines run through the Shield. And that's not what's taking place with other sports. And you do not have the personalities to drive the game the way that it was driven when the NBA had at least a competitiveness to it when you know, talking about them versus the NFL. You do not have the personality of a Shaquille O'Neal or a Kevin Garnett or
Charles Barkley.
or a Charles Barkley. You just don't have the developed personalities that drive it. I think it's a miss.
Though, because don't you think, I mean, you have HBO Hard Knocks, which I think is, I mean, look, fantasy played a big role in football becoming what it is, as far as the stats, analytics, and people feeling they could build a roster like they're a general manager. And there's fantasy in basketball too. I just think for some reason it's become more popular in regards to football. But there's also other things that I think have helped build it up. I mean, Hard Knocks to me was one of the greatest, like, you know, shows created to buy into the drama and the physicality and the emotional toll that training camp would take on players, and then the decision that organizations had to make about the livelihood of someone, whether or not they're going to make the team or not. Now, some of that's, you know, kind of gone to the wayside because they don't want it to appear that cutthroat, even though that's what it is. But it's like you don't see that with the NBA, which I you know, again, a little different circumstances, but I think an in-season, you know, HBO following a team or during the playoffs, following the team during a playoff run, the emotions of it, what it feels like, if you were covering and got some of that behind the scenes access, like from Anthony Edwards or from Chris Finch, and hearing some of those conversations come out, that would be incredible. Like, that would be something that I'd sign me up for every single day of the week to watch. But we don't get that. And look, I don't know if it's because they don't feel like it would hit with an audience, even though I think it would. I don't know if it's because of the name. You know, you have Hard Knocks for football. If it was Hardwood, unfortunately, I believe that was actually that was like Ed Wood, who is a 70s adult film star.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can purchase his 3-disc Blu-ray still out there somewhere. But like, I'm not sure if there's a lack of title for it. So you can't go Hardwood. You got to go to Hard something else. And it just,
they just gave
Hardwood.
Up. Yeah. I think that hits the mark.
That's good.
That's intriguing.
That's, I mean,
just be careful. You might stumble across Ed Wood, and trust me, he's
stumble onto it.
He's there to please.
Yeah, well,
know what happens when you stumble onto the hardwood.
Do you know I had to bring that all the way around just to get a laugh out of Jonas, because I knew if I didn't somehow find a way of tying this back to an adult film star, I could not get a chuckle out of Jonas Knox.
Well, he was going to do it.
No,
anyway.
he doesn't know about Ed Wood.